Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to day 20 of the gratitude practice. How are you doing? What's coming up for you during this time period? What are you finding difficult to cultivate gratitude for? What are you resisting? These are questions that you can ask yourself throughout any time in your life, really. But now is a great time as we're really asked to slow down and spend some time on our inner work. It's the best time to go inside and ask these questions. I've been asking myself these questions quite a bit, and it's amazing what comes up. I've been dealing with a lot of different things from my life. I thought I'd released, I thought I'd worked through, I thought I'd transformed. But there are so many layers to us, and there's so many angles to look at these stories, and you'll never know what comes up. It's kind of like gratitude, there's 28 ways and even infinite amount more, but there's 28 ways that we're going to be approaching how we can cultivate gratitude in our life with this practice. And so I encourage you to continually dig deeper into yourself, because if we don't do it now, when will we do it? It's so easy to get busy in life. This is the programming that's been installed in us, to be busy, to do things, to feel like we need to accomplish and be successful. How do you define success for yourself? What is success? I used to think it was all the things that we've been programmed to believe, having money and, a house and whatever it is that was these tangible things on the outside. But, as I accomplished and ticked off that list that was set by somebody else, I didn't find myself happier. And so one by one, it's been slowly transforming in me. And I've been finding that, what I consider successful is when I am at peace inside, that when whatever is happening in the world outside of me, whatever is going on, and even in my world, that I can move through that gracefully, and that I can move through that with love and compassion and gratitude. And it's not easy. It takes a lot of practice, but it starts somewhere, and it starts by just identifying in yourself what would make you happy and allowing that to evolve, because it's not going to be the same all the time. And as you evolve, you will find those needs changing. So allow yourself to answer those questions every so often. Check in with yourself, and don't let the busyness of life stop you from getting to know yourself in these ways. There's been, there was a global meditation that happened last night, this collective consciousness that tapped into this energy that's out there that had to do with alignments of planets and numbers and things like that. And whether you believed in it or not, what mattered was that a large amount of people around the world gathered together to meditate around the same time. We are powerful individuals. We have so much power in and of ourselves. So you can imagine the kind of power we have as a collective. When I sat down to meditate, I tapped right into it, and it was pretty overwhelming. There was a lot of energy out there, and there was a lot that came up. While this meditation was focused on the earth, I was reminded that we heal the earth and we heal each other by healing ourselves. There was an old narrative that came up for me, something I've been dealing with since being in utero, and it is the relationship to my mother. We've had a very difficult relationship, but one of the things that came through to me last night was that I was addicted to that narrative. I was defining myself by that narrative of this relationship to my mother, that I was the one that was not looking to heal it. I can't change her. She will be who she is. But I can change myself and my relationship to her, my relationship to this interaction between us. I can change the way I think about this. And having that powerful awakening last night, realizing that I defined myself by that trauma I have with her. And it was something that I was not until last night willing to see a better solution, that I was blocking myself from this healing. How can I accept nurturance and love one another and call these mothering forces in my life like Mother Earth if I cannot even accept this relationship with my physical mother, the person who brought me here onto this earth? This is never about changing the other person. This is always about changing ourselves. All of that work begins in ourselves. So I'm beginning to imagine the most magnificent outcomes that I can imagine in this relationship with my mother. That when I talk with her, I feel at ease. That when I am in communication with her, I am grateful for the fact that she gave me life and ways that she chose to love me. I'm grateful for the fact that I have been here to break a cycle and that I can love my daughter by learning through my relationship with my mother, that I can learn from what worked and what didn't work. There's so much to be grateful for. And when we imagine the most magnificent outcomes in our life, then we can attract that goodness to us. So today's practice is magnificent outcomes. I want you to think about how you think about situations and the language that you use around them. Do you use words like I hope and I want? Because when you hope and you want, you're creating a condition of perpetually hoping and wanting because you're not believing that it's already here with you, that it's already been attracted to you, that you have the vibration to match that thing. When you're hoping, you're casting it off into the future. When you're wanting, you're casting it off in the future. And you're asking for it to come to you, but you are not seeing it in the present. When you have this idea of being grateful now for that thing that you want in your near future, in your distant future, you can be grateful now and attract it to you. And that's what we're going to work on today. Think about just, what is your first thought that happens when, let's say, your boss calls you or somebody that you maybe don't have the best of relationship with. Does your mind go to a negative outcome? Do you think, oh my God, I'm going to get fired? Or what do they want? Or, whatever it is. What is your first thought that pops in your mind when situations happen? When you're about to board a plane, do you think about the worst outcomes or do you think about the best outcomes? What happens when you get into a car? What happens when you're out there? What happens when you think about leaving your house to go buy groceries while we're quarantined? What are the thoughts that you're putting around this? Because when you are forming these thoughts of fear, anxiety, or negativity, that's what you're drawing to you. It may not be something that manifests right away. It may be something that you continually perpetuate to draw to you, and then it manifests in however it does. And then it leaves you feeling maybe not at your best. So look at this time as a way to start cultivating gratitude for the things that you want, that or situations that are occurring, and imagining the best possible outcome. You can be grateful in advance. I am grateful for that conversation with my boss that went so well. I am grateful for being able to go to the grocery store and provide my family with what they need and come back healthy and happy. I am grateful for being able to travel to another place and arrive safely. There are so many ways that we can be grateful in advance for a magnificent outcome. And if you're feeling like you don't know what that outcome is or what the best situation would be, then be grateful for the right answer coming to you. Give thanks for the universe providing you with the right answer and the right situation. There's no way that we need to be in the wrong place at the wrong time when every time can be the perfect time with gratitude. I've used this in many situations. I once got a ticket in the mail for a red light, which was turning right on a red light. And it wasn't illegal, but the way that the cities had changed their laws, it made it an offense for a ticket. And I went to court for that. And rather than hoping or wishing or being angry, I just thanked the universe for the best possible outcome. And I got the best possible outcome. So you can use this to your advantage in any situation to transform those feelings of fear, doubt, anxiety, stress, negativity, whatever it is, into something that is positive so you can draw these positive outcomes to you. The more that you start to cultivate this into your everyday life, the better it'll be for these big situations that will arise. You can move through anything with gratitude. We had our kitchen flood last year, and we had to gut the entire kitchen. There was mold and everything, and we were cooking outside for something like 7 to 9 months. Our kitchen was just finished in February. Could you imagine not having a kitchen during this time of quarantine? So I was very grateful the kitchen was done in time, but more importantly, during the whole time, this 7 to 9 month period of not having a kitchen, of dealing with insurance, of all the trials that we went through, I cultivated nothing but gratitude for this situation because I knew that there was a reason and a purpose. And I can tell you that that time period was not that difficult to move through. A lot of people would want to project like, oh, I'm sorry for you, or that was difficult, or I can't imagine. And, while that it is true, it was not necessarily the easiest of situations. It was something that we moved through with grace and gratitude. And I can tell you that so much magic manifested since then. I found more purpose in my life, and I found higher callings and understandings and connections with the earth. So with gratitude, you can begin to find more than silver linings. You can find bright sunshine. You can dispel those clouds away. So I encourage you to start with something small. Think of 3 things that you're dealing with this week or even today, and start to imagine the magnificent outcome. I am grateful for the magnificent outcome to paying my rent for this week. I am grateful for the magnificent outcome for being able to provide for my family during this time. I am grateful for the magnificent outcome in having this job and finding my higher calling. Whatever it is, just start to cultivate it for the things that you're dealing with, and you'll find that it'll change the way you think. Next time you receive that phone call from somebody you're not so sure you want to talk to, just remember to take that step back, take a breath, and say, I'm grateful for the magnificent outcome to this call. I wish you all well, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.